Miniature Market has thousands of board games at discounted prices. Click the direct link below to see all of those discounted games. Hello my friends, it's the Game Boy Geek here. Today we're going into the casino and we're going to be pulling the arm of that lever on the slot machine because we're going to be playing Mega Jackpot. This is a small little pressure luck game for 2 to 4 players. It's just like playing slots, but in the physical world on the table. Let me show you how it's played. I'll see you on the other side. In Mega Jackpot, you try to have the most money because these cards are worth money. The apple's 1, the ring's 2, the diamond's 3, the magic carpet's 5, and the genie is worth 7. At the end of the game, you're going to count up all of your money. Whoever has the most is the winner. Now there's 3 different sort of slot reels here, and these are what's there. If you ever match all 3 symbols, this is basically where the slot is showing you, then you'll get to keep them. For example, if we get a 3rd magic carpet, we'd have 5, 5, 5. We would get all 3 of those cards, our turn would end, and we'd get essentially 15 points because it would be 3 times 5. Now these tell you what is on the back. It's either going to be an apple or a ring, or an apple and a diamond, or an apple and a diamond. Now this actually shows us the distribution. There's actually 26 apples, 23 rings, 19 diamonds, 13 magic carpets, and only 9 genies. So there's like, essentially like, there's like 3 times as many apples as genies. There's like 2 times as many apples as magic carpets. But there's like, 2 times as many diamonds as genies, and so on and so forth. So we look at this and we go, oh, nothing we could probably match here. So one of the things you could do is you can take one of these, you take it, you put it over one of the 3 piles, then you flip it. Okay, that was this. Now, I can either end my turn, or I can press my luck. Everyone starts with 3 1s and 2 2s. And you're always going to keep the 1s and 2s, 3 5s and 7s all in the same pile. So if I wanted to press my luck, I probably wouldn't right now, but if I want to, I could take one of my cards. Typically you're taking the lowest one because you're essentially giving that away. And you're going to put it in one of the 2 sort of tables here. Now we'll show you what these are later. These are where you can get some more money a little bit later. And again, I can take another turn now. Now when you take a turn, you're either selecting 1 card or 2 cards. So in this case, I have an apple. There's 2 apples. It's the most likely to happen. So I'm going to take these 2, go like this, and I'm going to flip them. Oh, look at that. We got it. So we got a match. So we actually have 2 choices. Most of the time, you're going to take these, and your turn is going to be over. And you'll take them and you put them in the corresponding pile, right? And so now I've got a bunch of 1s there. Next player's turn. Now keep in mind, as players are pressing their luck, there's going to be more and more cards in these because you get to decide which one they go into. So over the course of the game, there's going to be more and more money in there that you might be able to win. Now instead of banking the 3 1s, which I just did, instead I can go, you know what? I'm going to put it in one of these 2 things. I'm going to put it in here. And this is an advanced variant that I highly recommend you play from the beginning. You can go for the Mega Jackpot. One of these tiles allows you to take everything from the money tray that you put that in. So the ones that you just gave up, you get that back, but you also get everything else that's there. So we'll flip it over, and it's a monkey. Monkey does nothing. And so basically I lost those 3 1s, and it's the next player's turn. Well, let's say someone else gives up a good match, and they flip a tile. They just lost it. Now, you got a 50-50 choice because one of these are good. Let's say the next time somebody gives something up, and maybe they give away something good, like 3 5s, because there's a ton of stuff in the money changers, and you go like this. No. If 3 monkeys come up, essentially these all get turned over and reshuffled, and all the cards and the one that you had put them in to take that risk all get discarded out of the game, so it clears the money tray. But if instead you got the genie, well, then these would all get shuffled up, put face down, and you'll get everything from that money tray that you just put in. Everything from before and the ones that you just put in there. And so then now it's going to be empty again for more people to be pressing their luck, but you just made all that money. Now here's the real kicker. If you ever get 777, now remember, there's only 9 of these cards in the entire deck, so it's really hard to get. But if you get one of these, this would be 21 points. Put them in your thing. But if you then go for the Mega Jackpot and you pull the genie, you automatically win. So this is a great strategy if you're losing, it's getting towards the end, you know you're probably not going to win, go for the genies, go for the thing, and you could still win, which is amazing. Now this will continue, either taking 1 or 2 cards, and then continuing to pay as much as you want, as many times you want to continue pressing your luck, to then take the money or go for the Mega Jackpot. This will continue until any one of these stacks is empty, which means players have agency over the timing of the end game. Once it ends, everyone counts up their money, whoever has the most is the winner. Okay, let's first talk about what I liked of Mega Jackpot. First of all, it feels like a slot machine. Sure, it doesn't have a big mechanical arm and stuff like that, but you've got 3 little bars there. You're trying to bring them down. You're trying to make them line up. And the press your luck element, it feels like you're at a slot machine. There's a reason why slot machines make so much money for casinos, is because they're addicting. This game is addicting. It is fun. It is just, it gives you that experience without the smoke and the loud noises and all that sort of expense that you get at the casino there. Few things that make this game great. The different distributions of cards. You know, a lot of times we look at the game and go, oh, this is fun. Why? Some of the best games are like ones that you're like, why didn't I think of that type of thing? But there's a lot of magic that makes this game happen behind the scenes, you know, that's sort of hidden from us. Not necessarily hidden, but, you know, from plain eye. There's different distributions. So you get the 1s, the apples, the 2, the rings, the 3s, the 5s, the 7s, right? And there's different distributions, right? There's like 4 times as many 1s, I think there's 28 of them, than like the 7s, right? And so there's a lot of different interesting things of how often something should come up. And there's a bit of sort of counting cards in this too, where if you can sort of keep track of how many 7s you've seen come out, and you're like, oh, 4 of them have already come out. There's really only a few, you know, and you kind of know that, then you'll be. So what I mean is, yes, there's a lot of luck in this game, but you can get better at it once you know the deck really well, if you can count cards and stuff like that. It's probably a little bit further than what the game is intended to be, but you could play it at a deeper level if you're a gamer enthusiast. I love that you're scoring the 1s, right? The apples are the easiest ones to score. But you get them and you basically have 3 points because you have 3 1s, right? But I like those because those are even more used for payment to take the extra turns. You know, and I like that you have the flexibility. Take a single card, put it over any one of the 3 cards, or any one of the 3 little things there. Put it over any one of the 3 things and flip it, right? Or take any 2 of the cards from the slot machine, put them over any 2 of the 1s and flip those, right? Like you have the option of doing that, and there's different times where you want to do both. But then you've got that pressing your luck, right? And the 1s are perfect for that because you can pay a 1 and be like, yeah, I'm going to take another turn. Pay a 1, I'm going to take another turn. Pay a 1, I'm going to take another turn. Oh gosh, I'm out of 1s. Is this worth the 2? Maybe. I'm going to pay the 2 and take another turn. Am I going to pay number 5? Maybe, right? If you can get something huge. And I like that. And so pushing your luck is great in this game. Also, they have the advanced rules for the Mega Jackpot tiles. Always play with these. They really make this game... It makes it more swingy, which I'll talk about a little bit, but it also gives it more excitement and more reasons to push and pull for your luck there. So you flip the tile, you get a monkey, whatever. Second one gets a monkey, then the next person doesn't know that it's a 50-50 shot, right? And so like if you don't get it, you're making it easier for the next player, which is interesting. Another interesting part of that is immediate win. So if you get 3 7s, which is hard to get, and you're like, I'm pretty far behind, you can give up those 7s, put them in the money changer, and go for the genie. You flip over the mega tile. If you get it, you win immediately. Having that is huge and really fun, and it actually counteracts one of the negatives I'm going to talk about in the game in just a moment. But it is fun that you have that immediate possible victory that makes you push for those tiles. If those tiles weren't here, the game would be like a 6 for me. With those tiles, the game's like an 8 for me because it just really amps up the stand-up moments. There's not a lot of games where people are like all chanting chanting at someone, do it, do it, do it. You know, standing up when they flip it over and they get it and they win the game immediately. Like whatever. The game's 10 minutes long, 15 tops. Like play it again, right? So I like that. So, and when you're going for those tiles, when you put those, if you get any combination, you're going for the Mega Jackpot, you put them in one of the 2 little money trays, right? And if you do get the genie, you still get to get all those cards, assuming it wasn't the 7s that you turned in for the immediate win. You still get those there. So it's like, I'm putting those in here. I'm hoping I'm going to get those back and everything else in that tray. But at the beginning, it's a 1 in 4 chance. Then it's a 1 in 3. Then it's a 1 in 2 if no one got it, right? And then if it was a 1 and 2, then that whole pile goes away, and it's sort of the tiles get reshuffled and stuff like that. And it just adds so much more excitement because you're spending a lot, and then going for the Mega Jackpot to get it back, and it's a good strategy there. I like that there's other subtle strategies, like hey, if I know I'm ahead of other people, and there's a 7 sitting out there, I'm gonna cover it purposely because I don't want anyone else to possibly get it after me. And so you can do that. You can also manipulate the end game by the pile sizes, because as soon as one runs out, the game ends. And so if you're not in the lead, you're more apt to like, hey, I'm going to pull from the pile that has the most cards. If I'm in the lead and I want the game to end faster, I'm going to take the pile that's the smallest, and I might even throw away a couple of 1s and 2s to get closer to the end of that pile to try to get the game to end because I think I'm winning. So for as simple as this game is, the flexibility of pull any one of those cards, or 2, put them over any of the 2 or 3, flip them. Do I want to press my luck for even more to get another flip? Do I want to really press my luck even though I have possibly a score here, and possibly throw it away for a Mega Jackpot? But then you have all these subtle little strategies in there. I'm not saying this is a deep strategy game, but for something that's as light as it is, there's a decent amount of agency in the game, for sure. Let's talk about the things I didn't like about the game as much. Those Mega Jackpot tiles, as I mentioned, they're very swingy. And usually what happens is 1 to 2 times per game, one of those, that something's going to happen. Either the 3 monkeys are going to come out and one of those piles is going to get completely removed, or someone's going to get a genie. Oftentimes that happens. One person gets the genie. That person's going to win pretty much all of the time, unless someone else gets the immediate victory condition. If 2 people end up getting a decent pot and get the genie, one of those 2 people are likely going to be the one to win. So it's almost like when you play with those tiles, if you're not the one, if nobody wins one of those tiles, great, it's even. But if 1 or 2 people win those, one of those 2 people are going to win. And most often I've just seen one person get it and the other one ends up being like 3 monkeys. And so it's very swingy. If you don't get that, you're probably not going to win the game. So you have to push for it. So, am I going to push for it when it's a 1 in 4 chance? Well, I don't know. How many cards are in there, right? People are spending cards into those money trays to get the extra turns, right? And so over the course of the game, it's going to get more and more advantageous, right? So that's pretty much it for that. Also, a little note on sort of the production. I know that a lot of people flip cards. I typically flip cards this way, like left to right when you flip a card over. This one's interesting because it's set up like a slot machine. It's almost set up like you take them and you flip them vertically, right? Because you're taking them, they're vertically up and down, and you're flipping them almost like a slot machine. And so if you make it so all the cards are right side up, when you can see what 2 things you're selecting from, which, by the way, is another thing that's awesome in this game, is you're like, hey, is this a 7 or an apple? Well, likely an apple. Probably 4 times more likely an apple, right? But when you flip those cards, they're all right side up, if you flip them vertically, then it's upside down. And it's like in this game, it almost lends itself to flipping cards vertically as you flip them onto the thing. I'm wondering why they did not put it so that if you shuffle the cards and you put them all the right way, and they're all in the slot machine the right way, when you flip them vertically, why isn't it now the right way? Like, why didn't they inversely flip over the image on the cards so that when you flip them the way the game naturally sort of wants to be flipped, they don't stay right side up? I thought that was a little weird. Maybe because they thought people would still flip them like the horizontal way. But in this game, I felt like they should have done it the other way there. The game doesn't scale as well for player count, only because there's no different amount of number of cards being used. So if there was, then I'd say, okay, good. You're going to have the similar amount of tension, right? In a 2-player game, you can be more risky because you're going to get more turns. In a 4-player game, you have to be more conservative because you're going to get less turns. I'm not a fan of pressure luck games that don't scale the amount of cards that are in the game when there's different players, because it actually changes what you have to do with your strategy depending on that. Now, how would you remove the cards, right? Would you just randomly remove some? Well, now there was 28 ones. How many are there now, right? You might not know. That might actually open it up. I would have liked to have seen sort of a balanced variant where like, hey, 4 players play with all these cards, 3 players throw out this many, 2 players throw out this many. So that it's a similar feel between all of them. It's not. It doesn't kill the game. It's still fun, but just know that when you play with different player counts, you're going to have to play the game differently. And playing a game more conservative with 4 players, in my opinion, isn't as fun as being a little bit more risky. Anyway, I know I mentioned some negative things here. The game's fantastic. This reminds me of feelings of last year. A little game came out that got a lot of buzz called Flip 7. It was a little game from the op, and people loved this game. I think this is this year's Flip 7 because it's small, it's unassuming, people aren't going to expect a lot from it, but I think it's going to create some moments, stand-up moments that Flip 7 did. So this is going to be sort of my small box predictor like game of the year for a small box game this year. So that's pretty much it. I love the game. If you like, you should know by now if it's for you. It's the Game Boy Geek, breaking down barriers, growing relationships to board games by helping you on next 2011. Game Toppers upgrades every game you play, and they just launched their 4.5 Kickstarter, which will introduce the new Galactic, Mycroft, and Watson Game Toppers with interchangeable rail inlays, as well as new game mats, miniature gaming terrain packs, leg kit options, dining covers, accessories, and amazing package deals. Search for Game Toppers on Kickstarter or go to GameToppersLLC.com.